Yo, what's going on, snipers, and welcome back to our Detroit Red Wings franchise mode here in NHL 21. So in last episode, we had a little bit of a shorter episode. We had the draft and re-sign stage, and we didn't really let go of anybody to free agency, and also the draft wasn't huge because like these last few drafts of this franchise mode aren't going to be too super eventful because most of the players we're drafting aren't eventually going to make your team. So because we only have like 4 or 5 seasons left of this franchise mode. And yeah, anyways, we're up here in free agency. I don't think we're going to make any signings like I was just saying at the end of last episode. But our roster looks pretty good, and we do have younger guys that could jump up if we actually need to make some changes to the roster. Because there is guys, for example, like if we go into the system, Dwayne Sandlack is his name? Yeah, Dwayne Sandlack. He could jump up if we need to. And then also we got guys like Blum, Lutzer who could jump up if we need to. And even, who was it? Schumacher must be in the NHL already. Where are you, Schumacher? Yeah, there he is. Schumacher as well could potentially jump up. So I really don't think we need to make any signings just because we have the depth. And then defensively, we also might have to make another tough decision and trade away a defenseman. I'm thinking that more than likely we would have to probably move out somebody like Stewart because of the fact that Damian Rodriguez is his name? No, Demetrius Rodriguez could jump up into our lineup. Like, I didn't expect this guy to get that good of a development considering he was a second round pick, but he might end up being in the lineup instead. He might not be. Maybe we'll let him play 1 year in the AHL because I believe, yeah, he was playing in the OHL before. And he actually played 1 year in the AHL already. We might give him 1 more year in the AHL, and then we could play like Orr as their depth defenseman behind Stewart, something like that. But I think our team really doesn't need to make any signings, and we really don't have a lot of cap space to work with anyways. So we aren't going to be making any signings. So, yeah, pretty much that's that. I don't think we're going to make any trades either. I just want to keep this team the way it is for now and see how good it looks at the start of the season. I feel like we're going to get a lot of drop-off because of age, though, because guys like Savonin are getting old. Obviously, he could have retired last episode, but he didn't, or a couple episodes ago, but didn't. And then also guys like Caden Dingman and Caden Matthews are both getting old, and same with Biggs as well. So eventually we're going to start seeing some decline in our player overalls, and that's going to probably hurt us a little bit, but hopefully we don't suffer too much of that. So anyways, I'm going to make a quick jump cut to the start of next season, and we will take a look at our updated lines for the upcoming season, and we'll probably start simulating a decent chunk of the season. So I'll see you guys in a second. Okay guys, so our lineup looks pretty good. We are going to probably have to make one trade just to free up like a roster spot to call up a depth defenseman. But our roster looks really good. We got Savonin, Matthews, Dingman still. That lineup, we could always flip-flop the two of these guys again, which I might end up doing at some point this season. We've got Dika, Powell, and Garrison still, Seal, Fido, Belanger, and Cameron Schumacher is going to jump up to the NHL. Excited for this guy because he's a sniper as well, so it should help out. Like, because with him, with Belanger, I think that could give a little bit more of an offensive boost for the third line. And then fourth line-wise, we got a defensive line in Hobbs, Bloodoff, and Barker. Now, we could always flip Barker and Seal Fido around, but Seal Fido, I think, is a little bit better offensively. Yeah, a little bit better offensively, so we're going to put him in that lineup. And then defensively, we got Hardikainen and Samson, Biggs, and Stapleton, who is a 75 right now, but his morale should go back to normal soon. And then on our top six, we got Lilia and Stewart, who's declining a little bit because of his age. He's probably, yeah, he should be fine, though, still on the top six, I would assume. Goalie-wise, Stevenson's up to an 86, but it could be just because of the preseason, and Turnstrom's the backup. And in depth-wise, currently, we have Visnovsky and Alexandrov and DeKaiser. I think we're going to be trading away DeKaiser because for some reason, he's listed as a second liner at 80 overall, which I don't understand. Maybe it's morale or something, but we're going to trade him away, and then we'll call up Joel Orr from the AHL as our depth defenseman. We could always have Sandlack in the NHL, Bomick, Blum, Lutzer in the NHL, but I'm not going to put these guys up there yet because I don't really want to make our bottom six that much weaker. Also, Rodriguez could technically be in our lineup, but I think I'm going to give him another year in the AHL for right now, just while we wait for somebody like Stewart to retire or whatnot. So, yeah, our roster looks pretty good, I would say, for the most part. But we are going to have to make that trade in getting rid of DeKaiser, which is a little bit of a weird one to do, but like I said, it makes sense for us to do that and then call up a depth defenseman, because I don't really like having 3 depth forwards, because I always like to have at least 1 depth defender in case there's a defensive injury, because playing forwards as defense is not really that great. And also the fact that he's listed as a second liner is a little bit weird. So let's see if we can find a trade for Mr. This is Ali DeKaiser, right? Because Amir DeKaiser was the other one. This is Ali DeKaiser though, right? Yeah. Couldn't remember his first name for some reason, but let's trade him away. We could actually get a 3rd and a 4th. Wow. We're going to definitely take the 3rd and the 4th from Colorado and run with that. That's actually pretty good. Then again, he might actually be a lot better than I thought, but we'll trade him away just to call up a depth defenseman for our team and basically make sure everybody's happy on the roster. So we'll call up, who is it? Joel Orr. And like the rest of these guys might end up making the lineup at some point. Rodriguez especially will probably make the top 6 defensive pairing next season. Okay, so let's go to the AHL because we don't really need to adjust the NHL. Orr's never played an NHL game and he's like 30 years old, I think, or something, if I'm not mistaken. How old is he again? Yeah, he's 27 and he's never played an NHL game so far. But he's had some pretty good AHL seasons with points and stuff like that the last 4 years. So should be interesting to see how he does at the NHL level when he plays as a actual regular strength defenseman. But other than that, let's start up the season simulation and see how our team performs after last year's round 1 exit. I don't know if this team is going to start declining throughout the season and then it's going to hurt us or what. But I really hope that we can make it back to the playoffs again because, like I said, we don't really have a whole lot of time left in this franchise mode. So let's get to the start of the preseason, as we're getting offered tons of trades, but we're not going to be making any of those. So let's get the preseason done, see how we simulate in this. And then we'll take a look at our roster again quickly just to see what the overalls are like, because the overalls might not be actually that good. Because sometimes with the preseason, there's a little bit of a boost, I find, in overalls. So 5-1-1 in the preseason. If that's a sign for good things to come, I like that. Savonin had 5 goals in 7 games. Wonder how much he's going to score this year. And how close is he actually to being the all-time best goal scorer? Probably not even close. Because we looked at this last season, so he is 1 goal behind Nathan MacKinnon, so he will get into 3rd place within the next few games. And then he's only behind Gretzky, and he might pass Gretzky this year if he scores 51 goals. If he can score 51 goals, he'll pass Gretzky for 2nd all-time, but he's definitely not catching Ovechkin, I don't think. Especially by the end of this, if he ends up playing until he's 40, I don't think he's going to catch Ovechkin, who almost had 1,000 goals. And, yeah, he was up there for 50-goal seasons. Like, if he scores one more 50-goal season, he'll tie Gretzky and Bossy for 2nd most, behind Ovechkin as well. That's absolutely nuts. Okay, let's get the season started and see how Savonin could do at his old age. He's now 37, I believe. So he might end up retiring at the end of this year. Hopefully not. Hopefully he stays, like, he doesn't retire till the end of this franchise mode, because even though he's only played 1 season with us, he's kind of like a legend to an extent of this entire franchise mode on other teams as well. And he's never won a Stanley Cup yet, I'm pretty sure, so we definitely want to try and get him a cup if we can. Okay, so let's go to the 31st of October, see how we do in our first month of action. Let's see how we do. We lose 5-1 in Game 1 of the season, and we're off to an 0-3 start. Very bad defensive start. And also we do suffer an injury to our starting goalie, Maximus Stevenson, with a swollen knee, which is not good. Till October the 27th, so we're going to have to call up, who is it, Allen? Yeah, we're going to have to call up, what's his first name? Nicholas Allen from the AHL. He's never played an NHL game before. He's going to have to play as a 75 overall goalie. Man, that's a big blow to our team, though, early in the season, especially after we started the season 0-3. This might be a bad first month of NHL action for us. There you go. Boom, and good to go. There's 4 losses in a row to start the season, and now another injured knee. We had a swollen knee, and now there's an injured knee to Caden Dingman, who's our best forward, probably, or one of our best forwards. We'll go replace player. But this is a really bad start. And Caden Dingman's back already, which is great news. And I guess, yeah, Stevenson's already back as well. So I don't even know if Allen got to play any games, but whatever. And let's go back to edit lines. But man, it really sucks to get so many injuries early in the season, especially when this team is not performing that well. I really hope our morale and everybody just does not drop off a cliff, because if that happens, our team is screwed. But we should be a much better team than this. So, how is Savonin doing so far? 1 goal in 7 games. That's not like him at all. I'm going to change him and Dika around. Get Savonin to play with Powell, who's a good playmaker, and Garrison, who's also a good playmaker. See if that helps him out. See if that helps our team out in general, too. So both those guys are back in the lineup, I'm pretty sure, right? Just make sure. Yep. Okay, good. But yeah, we're off to a terrible start this year, but we do win 2 of our last 3 games to end that month, so we're 3-7. Not the type of record we want, but hopefully that could kind of change as the season goes on. And our division is pretty tight for the most part in terms of the people that are in the playoff area. 12 to 16 points separating first and fifth. Dingman's point per game, so it looks like our top line's still doing decently. Let's do another month and see if we can rebound from this terrible start. Hopefully we can, because I honestly don't want this team to miss the playoffs this late in this franchise mode. Game against Pittsburgh is a 7-3 win. There's a 5-2 win, and then there's a 3-1 loss. There's a 7-0 loss, but we bounce back with another win. Yeah, we're being a really streaky team so far. I'm losing a lot more games than I'd like to start this year, but we got a 3-game winning streak there. And then bounce back with 2 losses and another loss, and we're 10-15. It's hard to keep up with this in mention sometimes, but 10-15. We're getting a little bit closer back to being 500, but yeah, we're not in a good spot right now. We're 10 points back of the Panthers. Obviously, we could easily come back because there's still a lot of games left. And Phil Powell has 21 points in 25 games, which is pretty good from him. One of his best seasons so far. Maybe Savonin scoring a lot or something on that line. Let me just take a look at what lines are badly minus. Because maybe we'll make some adjustments. And it looks like Caden Dingman and Caden Matthews are both not doing too well defensively. That's not good. Second line's been good. Third line's been good. Fourth line has not been good. Schumacher's actually a 78, apparently. But he's been scoring decently, actually, on that line. I think I'm going to still flop him, though, and yeah, put him on this line instead. Yeah, we're going to do that. And then defensively, let me just check the pairings. The defense isn't that bad, so it looks like we're not a bad defensive team. It's just the goaltending. Yeah, the goaltending has been terrible so far. That's not good. Maybe we should put Wisnowski back in the lineup instead of Hobbs, because that helped us in the playoffs last year. But I don't really want to scratch Hobbs because or else he's going to complain, I think. Yeah, that HL team's probably going to do pretty good, I would assume. Let's try another month and see if we could get back to being 500. We are better in our last 10 games than we probably were at the beginning of the month, though. 4-6. And we're only 5 games back of 500. Let's see if we could have a good month here to try and get our way back into maybe actually contending for a playoff spot. If we don't, it's not the end of the world, but I would really like us to get back to the playoffs again. There's back-to-back losses to start this episode. Matthews was never injured. Yeah, he was never injured. There's a win. There's a shootout loss. Yeah, this team's not making the playoffs, I can tell you that right now. Just the way we've started the season is terrible. Don't know what the reasoning is behind it. But we're 13-22-3, so that was a terrible month. We only won 3 games and lost like 7 games, I think. Maybe even more than that. And yeah, we're bottom of our division, so maybe this is our year we get a first overall pick, and maybe that will help us for one of the last seasons of this franchise mode, but not looking too good. What does the draft class look like? Oh, there's a franchise power forward going first overall. Well, if we for some reason miss the playoffs, we can get a very good goal scorer for one of the last years, which sounds really fun, so I really actually hope that we get that first overall pick, though, if we miss the playoffs. Which you can never quite tell with the sim engine the way it is. So we're not at exactly halfway through the season yet, right? Now we got 3 more games, so let's do 3 more simulating games. And we'll take a look at our player stats so far for the season, but it looks like we're not going to be a playoff team this year. And yeah, we're definitely not. We're terrible defensively. 10 goals against in that Vegas game. Yeah, it's probably our defense. I guess it was a little bit of a fluke that we made the playoffs last year, but it could be also because guys are dropping off due to age. Let's take a look at player stats. So Matthews is almost point per game still on this team that's really bad so far, which is kind of surprising. He's a minus 12 though. Pau has been really good. Belanger's been pretty solid. Schumacher's been good. Bloodoff has not been that great. Hobbs is minus 16. I think I'm going to take Hobbs out of the lineup for next episode. And Ndika's been really good so far, 27 points, 15 goals, but Savonin off to a very slow start by comparison to last year. He's only on pace for 20 goals. And in his entire career, he has not scored below 29, or below 24 actually. And that was in his rookie season. Well, you knew he was going to eventually slow down, but man, that really sucks. And obviously, he's getting paid like a guy that would score a lot more than that too. And yeah, Dika 27 points, 15 goals already. That's pretty good. And then right wing wise, Dingman's been pretty solid. Garrison's been pretty solid. Fido, Barker. So some of our guys are actually have pretty good plus minus, like on our second, third line, but top line wise, not as much. And then defensively, Biggs has been pretty good. Lily has been not great defensively, but still good offensively, I guess. Stewart's still an even 0 somehow. Yeah, our defense isn't doing too hot this year. And then goalie-wise, both goalies have been abysmal, especially Stevenson. An 880 save percentage and a 381 goals against. I don't know if it's because of the defense on this team or what, but it doesn't seem like goaltending's doing too well so far. Let's take a look at our team stats for the season so far, just to see what we're doing bad at. But honestly, if we don't make the playoffs and we get the first overall pick, I think that might be a blessing in disguise, because maybe we end up making the playoffs again with that franchise level player, if we could get him. So in terms of goals for per game, let's just go to the bottom of this because we're probably closer to the bottom. Yeah, we're the third worst offensive team in the NHL, so we need to score more goals. Goals against per game, we are the 4th worst, so yeah, we're just terrible. Power play is the worst I've ever seen. 7.4%. Jeez. That is terrible. 7 for 94. And that penalty kill is also one of the worst I've ever seen at 73.8. Yikes. We have 5 shorthanded goals for this year, though, which actually is one of the most in the NHL, but we have a really bad penalty kill. Okay, that's a little weird. So if our special teams got better, maybe we'd have a better record, but I don't know if we really want that, but I still will adjust those special teams lines for next episode because we need to get those lines going. So we'll move Savonin to the point, and I'll move Dika down to the second unit, I think. Yeah, we'll move Dika down to the second unit. And yeah, Dika down to the second unit. Probably take Lilia off the power play. Move Garrison to the first unit. And then probably go Pau at center instead of Belanger. And then we'll probably throw in... Who do we want to throw in this spot? Fido maybe? Who's the best shooter out of this group? 84, 89 power is pretty good. Yeah, we'll probably throw Barker onto this power play. So that looks good to me. We'll try and take Dika down as well and move him to this unit. And then also take Lily off the power play again in favor of... Actually, we'll move Dika down there. We'll put somebody else on this wing. We'll put Barker again. Okay, so that seems good. Our penalty kill has been terrible, apparently. So we will move Stewart up. Move Stapleton down. I don't know why Dingman's taking face-offs on the penalty kill, but we'll leave that rest the same. Just swapped around this a little bit. Stewart's dropping off a lot. He's down to a 77. It's because of ice time, apparently, even though he is playing, which is weird. So there you go on that front. And I think I'm also going to actually take Calvin Hobbs off the lineup He's going to lose morale, but it's okay. And we are going to go with Wisniewski because we know Wisniewski can play. So we're going to get Wisniewski into the lineup, and I will move Barker back down and do something like that. So anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of our Detroit Red Wings franchise mode. So in next episode, I might make some trades. I might not. I might just let this team sim out the rest of the year. Because honestly, if we finish the worst in the league, maybe we have a good chance of getting that franchise level player, and then maybe that gives us a better opportunity going into one of the last seasons. Because if we get that franchise level player to play alongside like Matthews and Dingman for one of the last years, and then have also still Isaac Dika in our top 6 and stuff like that, I think we could end up making the playoffs in one of the last seasons. But yeah, this team's off to a terrible start this year, and hopefully we could maybe rebound next season especially. So let me know what you guys think down below, and I'll see you guys next time.